Hi, welcome to the RAMP overview presentation. And this is just a glimpse into our warehouse management system, or RWMS. And this presentation was created to provide a brief explanation of the capabilities of our WMS, what features you should expect to utilize the most, but the processes for each feature will be discussed in a later presentation. Before we start, I do think it's important to know RAMP is an Excel-based program. All reports and screens can be saved in Excel format to generate new reports or to verify information. And for that reason, I do think it's important to have a basic understanding of Excel in order to utilize the system. If there are any questions as far as Excel and the basic understanding of it, feel free to raise your hand, call me. I'm always happy to help if there are any questions. Once you log into RAMP, the main menu will populate on the left side of the screen, and I'm just going to briefly discuss each function within RAMP. So the first function is system setup, and this feature will only be utilized by administration. However, the capabilities of this feature include creating new users or employees, and that can be in an office position or on a scan gun. And this feature also can create new pick strategies. And a pick strategy is how RAMP is programmed to allocate inventory. If there's a specific location that we want to pull freight from first, we can program the system to allocate from that location first, or at least look to see if there's anything in that location first. The next function is company setup. Again, this is a feature that will mostly be utilized by administration. Some of its capabilities include setting up a new location and creating a pick route. A location is exactly what it sounds like. It is just a location that freight is stored. We do need to make sure that when we set it up in RAMP, it is reflective of what is physically in our warehouse, because that's how we will keep up with inventory. A pick route is utilized when a specific route needs to be followed to pick freight. So as an example, if a customer has really big boxes and really small boxes, the pallet isn't going to stack well if we put the small boxes on the bottom. So we can create a pick route that picks the big boxes first to create a base for the pallet, and as you pull as the order pullers pull the order, they stack the smaller boxes on top. Another function is the customer setup, and for the most part, administration is going to utilize this function more often than non-admin employees, but some of its capabilities include setting up new customers or attributes or rates. An attribute is specific information that is important to the customer. Some examples of this could be a lot number or a batch number, an expiration date, a serial number, or even a color. Anything that will help the customer specify the product that they want to ship. In this function, we can also set up new SKUs, and a SKU is the stock keeping unit. It's important for order placing and tracking inventory, and this is not considered an attribute because it's required for every single customer on every single order. Another function in the customer setup is setting up a new pack, and a pack is essentially just the way a pallet is stacked. So for instance, SKU 1234 has 58 cases on one pallet. And so this is just important to notify the system the master unit of measure. So this way we know for this customer that has SKU 1234, we will be pulling by case, or we can set it up to to show the pallet as the master unit of measure, and we will pull this product by the pallet. Our next function is warehouse documents, and this is where you will spend the majority of your time. We use the warehouse receipts option to set up and receive incoming product. We use the warehouse shipment orders to set up and release outbound product or anything that is leaving our facility. But also under warehouse adjustments, this is where we can go to adjust our inventory. And this doesn't happen or shouldn't happen very often. But if we, just as an example, if we receive a pallet in with 58 cases, but we later realize there are actually 59 cases, we would utilize the warehouse adjustment option to adjust our inventory to show 59 instead of 58. Our next function is warehouse maintenance. And this category will mostly be used to view inventory in our warehouse. Inventory balances, this shows what is currently in stock, allocated, or on hold. And that you can look that information up for any customer in RAMP. We can also make simple moves in inventory balances. And a simple move is just moving a single SKU lot combination to a new location or to a new pallet ID. Inventory transactions, this shows every move a unit has made since its arrival at HWC. And this option is particularly useful for product recalls because we can tell the customer on a SKU lot exactly how many orders it was shipped on, where those orders were delivered to, and how many cases were on each order. So they can reach out to the customer and have that product returned. A little less often we use the task option, and we could use this option to move multiple items at once. So for the single SKU lot combinations in inventory balances as a simple move, if there were more than one SKU lot combination that needed to be moved, we can move all of them at once in the task option. Again, that option isn't used very often, but it is a possibility. Our next option is order management. And for the most part, the waves option is used for 2 customers. A wave is simply bulking any orders together based on a specified criteria. So for example, our customer Amelia has 3 ship dates, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we can create a Wednesday wave that will just populate all of the orders that need to ship on Wednesday so that they can be pulled and staged and ready to go, and the account owner would not need to segregate the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday orders manually. Kind of the same concept for our Amex customer. A wave is generated for the truck line orders and the ground orders because they're handled differently. That way the account owner doesn't need to segregate them manually. It saves on a lot of time, actually. Another function within order management is creating bill of ladings, also called BOLs. And generally our customers provide the bill of ladings, but if we're ever asked to provide one, this is where we would go to create it. Lastly, our manage orders. And this is used when wanting to view, edit, or close multiple orders at once. Our next function is project management, and this is just a function we don't actually utilize right now. We could change that in the future, but as of right now, you will not work in this function at all. Our next function is reports, and we actually run quite a few reports out of RAMP. The only option out of these 3 on reports will be the run system report. And once this is open, the selection of reports can be ran. There are, for instance, there is a stale SKU report, which could tell us how many SKUs have not moved in the last 60 days, for instance. A shortage report will tell us all the orders for a specific customer with the cases that we do not currently have in stock. So these orders are short, the unallocated product. And then there's also the open orders report, which tells us, obviously, the orders that are open for a specific customer. And our last function is billing, and we actually use this quite a bit. So you would go to billings and tasks to run billings. For inbounds, these are billed at the time of check-in, so you'll utilize this every time you check in an inbound. Orders and outbounds are generally billed on a weekly basis, so you will also utilize this function weekly. And then storage invoices are generally billed monthly, so you will also utilize this on a monthly basis. And this is the conclusion of our RAMP overview presentation. A more in-depth look to each function will be covered in another presentation, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.